veterans home, maybe.
So we stream our events into them, and we create
nice.
events and do that. And we'll do something simple things, even a walk on the beach or a walk in the forest. Dave does a cooking show where he shows how to make distillery, things like that.
Oh, fun! That's great.
So it's touchmotherearth.org if you want to learn more about us. And our events are listed on touchmotherearth.com.
So, how about we go around before we even play? I know everybody wants to play. Your name is?
Russ,
All right.
her husband.
That's the best reference you could get, right?
Who's her?
Short
Right.
and sweet.
Right. And how'd you hear about it?
Yeah, it was my girlfriend Chris and her mom. Like we went to Sussex Day, their race are handing the flyers, so that's how I found out.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to know the flyers work. It's not just on social media. Old-fashioned flyers, right?
Old-fashioned flyers.
Which you probably took a photo of, right?
Actually, no.
I'm Kristen.
All right. Good that you're together.
And Carrie.
Carrie
Right.
walked away with the flyer. Right? You actually walked away with the
And I
flyer.
showed them.
Literally.
And they said, let's go.
Laura.
All right. And how'd you hear about it?
She's
You-
one of
you
my
take
yogis.
classes here.
Yeah, I take classes here.
Well, good.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm Ryan.
And
That's my mom.
very fortunate, right?
And I'm Elizabeth.
All right. So there are 3 main tones on the drum, but as you play, just like poetry, you can play around, you can experiment, there's different things. We have a bass tone, we have our main tone, and then with the fingers out, a little higher, we're used a little bit more for lead. I kind of call that our hot stove. So let's try our bass using both hands. Alright, so a couple of things. I should have mentioned it before. If you have rings, do take them off. If you have a necklace, you can put it around your necklace or something so you don't lose them. Why do I say that? Well, rim and a ring combination, you can either split the rim, or I've seen people hurt their fingers. The fingers get swollen. So for safety of the drum,
Is my
for
watch
yourself.
okay to take that off?
That's up to you. If it slips, then you're gonna want to take it off.
Oh,
Like,
it's really good.
she forgot to do it today, but she even has to tape this little thing because the bead gets in the way. Yeah, I have certain shirts that I absolutely adore, and I can't wear them, because you're drumming, it just comes back down again unless I pin it or something. So yeah, and then like I said, if people have jewelry, sometimes they worry about it. I can put it somewhere you're gonna find it.
Okay, these rings just don't come off. They were my mother's and they're stuck on me.
All right, well just be careful. That's not a
Very
super high quality, worry about drum.
Careful.
And you're fairly new at drumming. You're not like.
I'm not gonna be banging it out there, but I did take my wedding ring off, which is a little more thicker.
Yeah, we're witness. Just want to make sure he's okay with that, Oh wow, look at that.
There you go, give it to your husband.
I know, it's silly because he loses everything, but I don't have any pockets.
They'll forget about it. They'll get home and they'll go, honey, you're not wearing your ring.
know, right?
Don't worry,
Went
honey.
out at night.
Well, there was one time I lost it. It just, my fingers got skinny and it flew off, and I was like, oh. All right, I did always want like a diamond band, so I was like, I wasn't too disappointed. But then a week later, my husband comes in and he goes, found it.
Ah,
Good.
don't lose it again.
I went with a diamond band.
All right, so with the palm, generally you can keep your fingers closed. You can keep them open both ways.
So the other thing you can do is just put a piece of tape around it.
That I can do.
Yeah, so it doesn't hurt.
Well, I didn't think about that. Yeah,
That I have.
that was
And,
clever idea.
and what I do is I tape my bracelet so it doesn't come down to the drum, basically.
Yeah, you look crack that from Israel. All right, so thumbs are not used in this type of drumming. They may be used in Arabic doumbek, but and your kind of choice. I would say either the fingers are going to be super flat. You may cup it. Some people cup it, or completely flat, splat. So you can experiment with what works better for you, and if you like one over the other, or as you start experimenting, practice playing with your fingers open and closed. Alright, so we're pretty good with that. Now, make a V with your hand, and bring your hand out just till your hinge, your knuckles. Fingers are closed. Now, your drum, keep the other hand off. Otherwise, you're muting the sound, which makes another sound. Alright, good. Now together. In the drum world, they may call it dominant hand, non-dominant hand. In West Africa language, they may call it gundun, strong, weak, gundun, goldo, pa. So just if you go to a drum circle and somebody's saying gun godo, gun go godo, so the words would translate into the rhythm. I've learned a bunch of ways. I've had, where they write it out on the board. If you're familiar with music, if you played, that can be helpful. The other way that I find most helpful is adding words that make sense. Just the way you pronounce the word will give you the like the syllables, the way they line up. So strawberry shortcake. Strawberry shortcake. For remembering some of the rhythms, because when you do go home, you're gonna go, I don't want to forget, And you'll be able to find out. We have videos on YouTube that include practice videos, so you guys can use them later. So the third stroke, as I mentioned, I call it hot stove. You can really hear the sound of the rim. Don't worry about it. Alright, now we're going to go around one by one. So I'll show you, and then try to get the three unique sounds, but if you get close for the last two, it's fine. One at a time. Go ahead, Elizabeth. Alright, so when you're hitting here, make sure you're flat, not the tip.
Okay.
Right? Alright, and then
Now I hitting here or my fingers? More here?
some people move them out, some people go in a little
I'm
bit.
so worried about my ring messing up your drum, so it's
That-
impeding upon my
you'll be all right.
creativity.
Yeah, for that reason, you can take them completely off.
And here it's flat. Sounds flat.
It may sound flat, that drum may be flat, and if that's the case, we can trade you for another drum.
It could be me.
Well, here's another thing. A lot of times the drum will sound flat, and it does have to do with technique. So when you are drumming, when you're going crazy, don't think of it as you're hitting the drum, because hitting the drum actually mutes the drum. I didn't take my hand off, right?
Yeah.
If I think of it as this, and you
There
can
we
think
go.
of this with the chakras, right? You've got your head chakra, you've your crown chakra all the way down to being grounded. Think of that sound as coming through the earth into the trunk of the tree and out into the air. Do you hear how far that resonated, that like echo?
Yeah.
Nice sound.
Now this was recently tuned up by a professional, so it's at its cream, and you have to occasionally pull one more little knot. That touch. If I don't hit it right, it won't be as sharp. When it's sharp, this is designed for lead. So I could be dancing while everybody else is playing. I can dance on top of you while you keep the rhythm, and then together we benefit from. We have daily enjoying the journey. All right.
How do they tune that? They get tune a drum?
Well, the way they get tuned on some of the drums, the ones that have full rope, you'll see what they call diamonds. This is a half of the diamond. When if I go around and do another row in like 2 years,
I'm good. What's going on?
it'll cross off.
Nice to finally meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Your name?
Taylor.
So this affects the
Yeah.
sound.
You look great. I like your look.
This affects the sound.
Yeah. So in fact, if you ever go to buy a used drum, a couple things to do is always test it. You want it to be tight. You want it to be tight. If you find one that's loose and everything else is tight, it needs adjustment. It can be done. If everything's loose, it needs complete tune-up. But that will affect the sound. I should be able to not have any difference. But if if it was not tight, like let me try her drum right quick because she did say it was beautiful. We'll let her know. Oh, that is a little flat. Alright, so let's go to you. Number one son.
How was the last one go?
Alright, so our bass will be right in the center.
Yeah.
And then open your fingers and pull them out a little bit more. Yeah, I heard it.
That's good.
Alright, so try all three together. Very distinct, right? Okay, go ahead. Alright, now are you touching the ground or is it out? I want to make sure your sound's getting out. Okay. Alright. Try just with one hand, just so I can see it. Okay. Alright. The smaller drums are a little bit harder with two hands, but as long as you're comfortable with it, that's fine.
Surprise!
Yeah!
Nice to see you. Hello, everybody.
Brent Taylor came to join us. We're in our lesson stage right here, so.
Cool.
Hey, your turn.
Okay.
Alright. So don't worry so much about it, it's just the fingertips. The fingertips won't give you the full. And watch this for a moment. If I go to strike the drum down, I'm actually striking it like this, and it's going to go like that, like a spring. It's all in the flex. Think about when you shake your thermometer, that snap. So that's why I say you don't actually have to worry about pushing the drum.
Shake thermometers anymore.
My reference points my reference points, including some of my song choices, I have to always remember, the young or the old of the group. It's the thermometer, you're right.
So are you saying that's what you're supposed to do is let it bounce rather than
Yeah, you're actually striking the rim and your fingers plucking down. And you're going to notice a big difference. That's your lead tone.
You liking this, huh?
Alright, try again.
Try again.
Yeah. Alright, so you're still using the fronts. Don't dig in, go flat down. Or think of it as a hinge.
Oh, okay.
Like that.
Alright, that's good.
I'm
Alright. Yeah, okay, I did, yeah. You don't have to go all the way out, but you were able to make the distinction on that drum, which is good, because that's an older, smaller drum. Alright, go ahead.
Wow.
So that is a nice bass. I forgot about
Sounded
that.
good there.
We pulled that out. It hasn't been out for a while, so you're getting treated there. Alright. By the way, this drum I built in year 2000. Sorry.
Wow, that's
I
cool.
thought you were saying 1902.
Just reverse the digits, yeah.
Got off the boat in Ellis Island. And I built a drum.
So, all right, now if we took those three, we have the basis for our first melody. That's it. Hey! Whoa! Ah! should do before we even start is stretch. And we just all went right in. So if you're feeling it in your hands, you know,
we can do some like wrist
yeah,
stuff.
just that. Here, snap it like a digital thermometer.
Here we go again with that thermometer.
I'm stealing that now. Yeah.
And you can
My
flip
son's a massage therapist.
That
and he
helps.
says go like this.
Yeah. That one, and then this
Forward
way.
and then there we go, up and down.
All right, so catch your breath there. So some of the songs that we sang as kids actually lend themselves very well for drum. And when you start to know some of these songs, they actually have African rhythms in them. Or can be applied in that sense.
That was the rhythm with Bugs Bunny with the meringue fruit on her head.
Oh yeah, the Carmen
Carmen
Miranda
Miranda.
Bugs Bunny with the
That was so funny.
My favorite one.
yeah. And that's another good point, is people who say, oh, I don't know if I can play, I don't play a musical instrument. Your heart beats, you probably were singing in nursery school, so you're good to go. So just listen for 1 or 2 times around when you're ready to jump in. I'm just going to use the 2 tones now. How's that feel, guys? Well, you guys were together. I could hear people were listening.
These four were the rhythm will be good.
Yeah, the orchestra part. And I looked around and nobody was playing the same part identically. So that's what added to the orchestra.
Nice. So do you guys know what song that was?
You know that?
Adam's Family?
You guys know what song that was?
Yeah.
It started out with Jack and Jill, but we got
And Jack and Jill and the Adams Family.
to try for difference, you want to try one of these other two wooden tie-dye drums? I think you may find just the sound is different and it's a real wood, so I think you'll enjoy the feel. Either of these two here. Let's see which one's, that's it, that can be tighter. Yeah, just see if it feels different. It's always nice. And yeah, anybody wants to try a different drum, I can give this one up if somebody wants to try it.
Okay, so before we go forward, just a little exercise, and then just put your hands on the drums like this. Close your eyes and connect your heart from your heart chakra into your drum. So one of the secrets of picking up drumming is to have that heartbeat connected, and then you're not afraid basically to allow that energy out. It's flowing through you into the drum, and it's flowing from the drum into the audience or whoever is hearing it, yourself and everybody. So basically it's you're in sympathy with your drum. And then you're not afraid to allow the sounds to come out, and the connection is just about you connecting in and allowing that flow of energy totally through. Let it go through your chakras, and this is how rhythm healing is done. It's about connection of that body, just like in yoga, right, in your heartbeat into your drum. So make friends with your drum right now, even though it's only temporary.
When you said what song is that, in my head I said my heartbeat.
Well, and like when I drum by myself, I may drum differently than when I drum in a group, because it's just me and the drum. The purest poetry can come out. And I create things I didn't even know were inside me, because it's how I'm feeling at that moment. So it's kind of like an empty whiteboard or a diary you can kind of write on. You think of it that way. And it's great. You know, we met at a drum circle about 7-some years ago, and just kept kind of crisscrossing paths. And then, you know, she might come around, she would be dancing in the circle, I'd be drumming. I think we've even sat next to each other at times. You had the conga at one point.
Yeah.
You're older too.
That's true.
But we've been together now for 3 years.
But
But
one
it's
of the
this
things,
blessing that
right,
brings us
and one of the
together.
things we also teach is couples drumming, where you basically, we write our bond, we bond through our drums, and I hear what he hears, and that synergy. So drumming can be a very relationship oriented, and in a drum circle, we're all connected, all our hearts are connected. And so you create music and harmony through the connections of your hearts to your hands and grounded.
Put divorce attorneys out of business.
Now we're gonna switch into something. For a moment, I'm gonna sound technical, and then I'm gonna steal it right back. We're gonna work with triplets. You're gonna go triplets. Okay, I know that is 3, and if you play an instrument, you know that it's 3 notes. We use triplets all the time. We use them in your waltzes. Have you ever seen the last 3? That's a waltz. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You also do it in nursery rhymes, like merrily, 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 merrily. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Like that felt different. I could see you guys just felt more calm. When you sort of got lost into the groove, which is good. There are sometimes people say, "How long can you drum for?" I say, "However long the song is good." Because sometimes we will drum and we realize we've been going for 40 minutes on the same, and it starts out somewhere and ends somewhere else, and somewhere in between is just whatever the group had.
Good one, Dave, yeah.
All right. Here's a fun one. First, any questions? I can tell you guys are, I mean, your head, you can see some of you are closing your eyes, you're going off, which is great. And also, if in the middle of the song you feel inspired to try another rhythm that you think can work with it, that's all part of it. It's all part of the fun. There's no solid rules unless you're in a troupe. Then just like a dance troupe, the drummers have their parts as well. But for open circles, whatever goes. Sometimes not even drums.
Fleetwood Mac action.
So, besides you and Seth, who else was getting into it?
African Fleetwood Mac.
That builds up some heat.
That's great.
What is the experience like? Who, first of all, who here has never drummed before? What are you all doing right now? Ah!
You You're gonna leave
Yeah.
with your VIP membership access card.
There you go.
You're all officially Earth Movers now.
VID.